Yo, what's up? Back with another video, and this one I am going to be showcasing a few of the cards that you can get through the fantasy card pack. I am going to be showing you each and every one of the fantasy card pack cards, starting off with Luckless. What it does is deal double damage to female cards. Pretty self-explanatory. I would say his ability is pretty awful, honestly. Not to be sexist in any sort of way at all, but most of the better cards are actually male characters. At least for my part. I do have Saber, a little bit of an outcast here, but generally male cards are better for some reason. The second card is the Unbreakable. He deals damage equal to 50% of this card's missing health to the enemy card when attacked. It's a little bit similar to Mob, who gets a little bit of a damage buff depending on how much you damage him, but he's a weaker version of Mob. This can be pretty good. It counterattacks, so I'll show you this in battle. It's pretty good if you have a golden one and you don't have any other big cards to keep up. This card is pretty good. But if you have 200,000 spins, I'd suspect you have some better cards up your sleeve. Oh shoot, I'm at like floor. Okay, that's a little bit frustrating. I was at like floor 217. I sort of switched out my team. Whoops. As you can see, he attacks back after the opponent has damaged him, dealing 50% of the damage, so he's pretty good, I'd say. He's pretty good. Now, for the next card, we have Crimson Rose. She gains a 50% damage buff if Blue Lily is in her party. Blue Lily being this card, which I will get to in a second. But if you have her, I wouldn't recommend using her unless you have Blue Lily as well. And in that case, focus more on Blue Lily because she's just a better version of this. Now for the next card we have, it's Asta's brother from Black Clover. So what he does is he deals his damage and half of his damage on top of that for every second round, and then also 25% of his damage to the entire team each other turn. So pretty much he's gonna switch between doing 1.5 times damage and 25% damage. This could be pretty good for Infinite. If you, for example, have the golden version of him, you can boost that with a masked leader or a few of them, just like that. And if you have a support card, maybe an idol or similar, you are going to be rushing through the first few waves, make it all the way to 50, like wave 50. As you're going to see here, second attack, boom, he kills all three of them with one hit, making it super easy to go up. I only recommend him for the start though, because he's not really that good. Moving on to Timeless Sage, 1 in a million. Timeless Sage, basically what she does is she resets everything that happens to her, including damage buffs. So if you were to buff her, she's gonna reset back to her regular damage after 3 rounds have passed. So after 3 turns, all the changes done to this card will just be reverted. She'll get everything back, all the HP she's lost, all the damage buffs or debuffs she's gotten, everything just goes back to normal, and it only works once. This ability is pretty awful, I'm gonna be completely honest here, but if you do have the card in a gold, rainbow, or even universal state, that's pretty good. Moving on to Blue Lily. She gains a 50% damage buff if Crimson Rose is in the party. So that's the other card we were talking about earlier. She's basically pretty much the same thing as Crimson Rose, except she is a lot better. So, yeah. If you were to put both of them in a team, place Blue Lily after Crimson Rose, since she gets another 50% damage buff if Crimson Rose is defeated. That's pretty much all I have for her. Moving on to Armor Maiden. She switches between various abilities depending on the enemy she's fighting. This could be really useful or downright awful, depending on your opponent. But generally, I don't think this is a good ability. As you can see, her ability has switched to that. And now we're facing Guts. Deal 100% more damage, but take 50% more damage when fighting a weaker opponent. Yeah, this card could be useful, but I don't recommend using her actually, since most of the time she's just gonna get an awful ability, and she keeps that ability for the rest of the rounds. Now for the final card, Sid Kaganu from the Eminence in Shadow. His ability is on entry, deal damage to the enemy's party equal to 20% of their card's current health. Meaning, you should probably place him up front, and he is pretty awesome for that, taking away 20% of the entire team's health. Makes him one of the best cards out there right now. I would definitely recommend using him if you have him, but the problem being he is a 1 in 500 million. That's going to be it for me, and I'll be taking my goodbyes here. See you guys later, and bye bye.